Welcome in, all you ghouls and goblins. I am Morgticia, and today Monster and Mama will be discussing all things horror. So don't get too scared, and remember to live on the fright side of things.
Ship's chandelier.
Oh, I like it.
It's my paintbrushes holding up my Christmas lights all in one batch.
I like it.
So I can do this or low.
I like
Low.
the low school. I like the low.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Make sure
Hello,
this is good.
everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Monster School, where we're literally just vibing. There's no script this time, none of that bullshit. We're just having fun. My name is Monster, and I'm here with.
Mama talks.
And today, we're talking about whatever. So,
Everything.
you saw Rise of Leslie Vernon.
I did.
What did you think of it?
It was a fun movie to see. It had a very 90s vibe, I
Mhm.
feel like, where it meshed really well with that whole era, even though it came out in the 2000s.
Right.
I was a little because you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You knew. So it was like, why are these people so ignorant to what they're involved in?
Right.
So I was a little frustrated with a lot of it, but I
Did
guess
you
there's
like
enough dumb
Leslie?
people out
Did you
there.
think he was like an interesting? Because
Not like
have you
the
ever
others,
seen like a
they were
fanboy
trying
killer?
to. Oh no, I don't think so.
Right, like it's kind of cool. He's just a fanboy. Like he appreciates all
He
the
is.
killers. And
He's
he's trying
just
to
a
learn
really
from
big
them.
fanboy. Yeah.
But you weren't a fan of it.
I mean, it was a good watch. I
Okay.
don't not like the movie, but
You weren't like, oh my gosh. It's nothing like
no.
Suspiria.
It was so predictable, it was painful, but that's usually the case in a lot of movies for me.
I got you. So you know what? Let's start with the show and tell now, because hopefully it'll bring up some discussions. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I guess you, because I don't have much
Much?
to
Okay.
work with.
So I don't have a lot either. Just grab a couple things. So this is my replica of the Cadillac from the end of Nightmare on Elm Street,
Oh wow,
which
that's
I
cool.
really love, and it's my favorite. And it's got, I don't know if you can see her, Nancy in there,
Oh,
which is kind of cool.
Nancy.
That's one of my favorites. Chase got me that.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't have stuff like that. I have stuff I've collected that's considered spooky. This is my poison bottle.
Ooh.
I'm a big bottle collector of medical bottles and stuff like that. So that one's it's tiny but mighty and one of my favorites because poison bottles are very difficult to.
Oh, it's an actual
Yeah.
poison bottle.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
that one's one of my favorites. I have the Predator. That's movie related.
Yeah, that's horror. We talked about him.
Oh, come here, big guy. You're heavy as fuck. I have a Predator bust.
That's cool. Look at that.
It's so heavy, so if I'm shaking, I'm sorry.
You're
It's
good. You
really
can put it down.
awkward to hold.
It looks
Oh
great.
my
I love
God.
that.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Love him. Ugh. Okay, big guy.
My next one is the one I was talking about. So I don't know why this is the most probably miraculous case I've ever purchased, but this is the full Blu-ray of all the classic Universal monsters, and the artwork is spectacular on it.
Hell yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and then in it comes with these place cards. I have no idea what to do. I want to frame them, but it's like they have the Invisible Man, they have Wolfman.
Oh my
Bride.
gosh, yeah, those definitely need to be displayed.
Right? It's insane. This was at Best Buy. It's just a DVD that I grabbed, and I was like, holy crap.
That's fantastic. What a score.
Right?
Those are great photos. How fun.
That's Bela Lugosi. I love that one.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm just keeping them in there until, you're right, I gotta frame them or something.
They make those, plexiglass frames.
I'm thinking
where
of
it's
getting
just
those. Yeah, the
plexi and
hard
plexi
ones.
with the screws on the side, and I would just do that. I would lay them, obviously make sure they're all where you need them to be, and then just plexiglass them and hang it that way.
Next is one that is really dear to my heart. It's Vincent Price.
Vincent
It's the
Price.
Funko Pop one. I love it. It
Oh
has
my
him on the
God.
back too, the little face.
Oh, I have a Vincent Price cookbook.
You do?
I do.
What does he
Hang
cook?
on, I'm gonna run
Yeah, go.
everything.
I'll talk. I'll just vamp as if I'm doing a solo thing. Hey, everybody. My name is Monster, and I'm by myself right now because Mama left me to get a cookbook, which is really rude for anyone to do, really, especially if they're a co-host on a show. I don't remember ever letting her do that. It's disgusting. Quite frankly, I'm repulsed. I think Mama is one of the worst human beings I've ever met in my life. I don't believe that... Oh, hey! Welcome back!
Came back. Yeah, Vincent and his wife made a cookbook.
Come
And
into
it's
the kitchen.
phenomenal. It has like all the best old school recipes that like you haven't tasted since your grandma made them.
I am
Mhm.
excited. I'm going to buy that. I didn't know that
Phenomenal.
existed.
Do it. Seriously, they're really good recipes in here. Like really good.
All right. Next, I only have 4 left. I didn't grab everything. But this has a huge story behind it. I don't know if I told it, but this is when I got Robert Englund's signature.
Oh,
And he
I
drew
like
a
the
picture
doodle.
for me and everything.
That's
But-
great.
So did I tell you the story behind this?
I don't know. I doubt it.
So he was at Rhode Island Con, right?
Hmm.
It was a 4-hour drive. My dad ended up taking me. Because I have a phobia of like drive. I told you this, highways. Like,
I
just can't
understand
do,
100%. I'm right there with you. Mhm.
So he drove me down, and there was a plethora of people I wanted to meet, right? But Robert
Right.
Englund was at the top. I was like, it's Freddy
Obviously.
Krueger. Like, I was like nervous, excited. I get there. It's a pretty packed place. There's a lot of celebrities. I remember Gene Simmons being there, Christopher Lloyd, like a lot of like random A-listers to some, but B-listers to others. But then I saw Robert Englund. I'm like, nice. And I saw his line, and it was only like maybe 30 people, and I was like, hell yes. So I start walking up
Wow.
all cocky to the back of the line, and the guy at the rope line said, like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I'm like, well, it's kind of clear what I'm doing. I'm going to see, Robert Englund. He's right there. And he's like, oh, you got to go to the back of the line. I'm like, this is the back of the line. And he pointed to the balcony.
Here.
There were over like 200 people. So I was like, I have to go up there and wait. And he's like, yeah. And then they cycle down. I was like, all right. So I go up. And I love Robert Englund, but the Achilles heel that I can't tell if I like it or not about him or not. He has around 250 people waiting, right?
Okay.
He's talking to each individual person for a max of 5 minutes. Like he just loves to talk. So 5 minutes times 250 people
Mm-hmm.
is rough. So I'm waiting. An hour goes by, 2 hours, 3 hours goes by. I'm finally on the floor in the line from the balcony. And I'm waiting there very patiently, and I'm going. And there's this girl that's behind me. She is so annoying. Like, she's the type that just has an opinion about everything, and I'm just like, I just have to sit there and endure all these opinions she has. And then the line progresses a bit more. And luckily, my dad's phenomenal because he stayed with me the entire time. And I
Aw.
was like, hey, do you mind if I just, like, run around the con, like, super fast, like, for, like, 10 minutes? He's like, yeah, go ahead. So I run, and I end up getting this signature because I was running. Okay, so I was running super fast. I forgot all the other celebrities that are in this con at this point because I've been waiting for so
That's
long.
funny.
And as I'm running and just, like, trying to process the con because I know I don't have time to
Everything.
enjoy it, I look by and I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, there's Chris Sarandon. And I was like, that's Jack Skellington. And I turn around, he had no line whatsoever. No line.
No line?
No
Oh
line.
my
I went
God.
right up to him. I'm like, hey, so is the line like in the but there's no balcony, so I sound like a dummy. And he's just like, no, do you want a autograph and a picture? And I was like, yeah.
Aw.
And it within 30 seconds, like his booth was just there and he did it and I was like, awesome.
That's so cool.
Then I start taking off again. I start running. I cycled back and I waited 8 hours for Robert Englund in total. And then I got
Jesus
to him,
Christ.
and I'm not going to lie. I had a question for him about Nosferatu resembling Freddy Krueger, like the way he stands and the way he like walks up the steps and everything with like an arched hand and everything. I think I told you about
Yes.
this last episode.
You were definitely on the right track.
He segued so like a lot of people that are seniors tend to do, where it's like, I don't know where you're going with this. It's kind of not what I asked. And I was with him for the same amount of time, 5 minutes, but it's like I didn't really. The knowledge he was giving me wasn't about the horror genre. It was about like he was just talking. So I was like, this could have been a bit faster of a process. But when I got his autograph, I was on cloud nine. I was like, I finally got to meet.
That
Freddy
is very
Krueger.
cool.
So,
But yeah, they did that iconic cast shadow as Nosferatu. Like,
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
shot that's really cool. I was trying to find it and send it to you in your DMs later, but it's Freddy Krueger walking up the stairs and his claws. It's the
Yeah,
exact
it's the
same
shadow.
position. And you're like, that's cool.
mhm.
But that was a fun experience. The next one is I got Oogie Boogie, who's my favorite of all time,
Yes.
and
That's a cool picture too.
Right, they had a couple to choose from, but for some reason I don't like gray Oogie Boogie. I don't like it when he's in the potato sack. I like it when he turns green like
You
that.
like with the lights on. Mhm.
Yeah, it seems a lot more fun.
Well, yeah.
This one is really cool. This is the actual person that played Creature from the Black Lagoon
Man, I wish I still had my comic.
of that. Like, is it a cartoon comic or a comic comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. And then this one you're gonna like. This is, sorry, Audrey. This is a McFarlane piece, I believe.
Yay.
And these are rare. So I got this from my boss, who's like, you can just have it. So it was passed down. But look at this.
What the fuck?
Is that
How
cool?
do I get a boss like that? How do I get a boss like that?
Yeah, it's 3D too.
That's so awesome! Oh my god. I'm jealous as fuck.
Isn't that great?
Oh,
And it goes
that
on
is
the
so
wall.
cool.
It hangs.
Why don't you have that hanging? What the fuck are you doing with your
Okay,
life?
first of all, asshole, it was hanging. I took it down to show you on the show.
Oh, you don't. I mean, in there, in like the
Oh,
horror
in here?
room.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
all Freddy oriented. But no, this is like
You
one of
have
my favorite
Freddy.
pieces. That's all I have for show and tell. Do you have anything else
Uh,
besides ridiculing me?
oh, I can always do that.
It's so funny.
I have like random shit. I don't know. Nothing's really like specifically something. I just collect things. This is my chemical bottle from the 1800s. It's really pretty.
That's cool.
It's like
How do you find
Sure.
them? Is it like auctions, or you just go to like a bottle dump?
I go to antique stores and look for their garbage, pretty much, which is this. And sometimes, if you're lucky, if you live somewhere near train tracks, if you dig a little bit, you'll find a lot of old bottles because back in the day, they would drink and just chuck them,
That's cool.
or they would fall
Well,
off.
I don't
carts
understand. Like, go back to the poison one. I don't understand. Like, it's a why make a poison bottle? What's the benefit of
to
that?
keep poison in it.
Why would you put poison in a bottle? What's the point of having poison on you? Like, who's that for?
Kill people.
Yeah, I know. But if you're gonna kill, no,
I have
no,
a poison ring as well.
that doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't that give away that you're about to kill somebody if there's a marking on the bottle that says poison bottle?
Well, think about it.
Your poor dog. She's ridiculing her dog right now. He doesn't deserve it. Poor guy. She probably talks a lot. Just like she talks a lot to me right now. Oh, see what I mean? She doesn't. Hey.
If you had harsh chemicals that you were storing, like you made medicines, you wouldn't put it in a regular ass bottle. You would need a signifier that it could be deadly. And the way these bottles are made, you can feel the skull. It's popped out. So if you're not sure what you're grabbing, the bottle tells you, no, don't use that one for whatever you're doing, unless it is indeed what you're looking for. So there's multiple reasons to have them. But
So,
this is
I don't get that.
a poison ring. Well, you're not.
That's
You
cool.
don't make medicine, so I'm.
Well, first of all, when was the last time you saw a modern day poison bottle? It doesn't
Hello,
exist.
it's an antique.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if you what's the point of manufacturing a poison bottle? It's just to kill someone. If that's the point, wouldn't they arrest you
Or
for having a
making
poison bottle?
medicines. You know how many medicines you take that if you just took one equal amount of the chemicals involved to create the entire concoction could kill you. But it's a tiny dose that they add to help combat things.
I knew that. I was just testing you.
Goodness gracious. And you say I ridicule you and
I don't
shit.
even know what
Goodness
you're saying
gracious.
Do you have any more bottles?
I have a lot of bottles.
Show me all of them.
I have a lot of bottles.
I like
This
bottles.
one is an inkwell that was dug up under one of the cathedrals in St. Augustine. That's the oldest city in the United States. So this was actually one of the nuns' ink bottles.
Nice. Looks like a perfume.
I got a couple, but they're not all here. I know, right? It's rough though. It's like.
What's
so
your oldest bottle?
The oldest one I have here is this one. Looks fairly normal. It's
gonna be like, that's a
extremely heavy.
Coca-Cola bottle.
But I do have an antique Coca-Cola bottle too.
That's cool.
The reason you can tell this is old is because of the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You see how it goes in?
Yeah.
Well, the way they used to make them, they don't have, like, original old school bottles do not have a seam.
Okay.
They didn't cast them to create them. They actually had to blow them into a thing. So it would blow in, and it would take shape, and they would have to pop it out. And when they popped it, it would create a suction. So it's
That's
one
cool.
solid piece of glass. It's not sealed together. So it's extremely heavy. I can knock someone out. And I have another one, but not here, that's completely rounded at the bottom.
Yeah.
And those were actually used on ships back in the day to keep balance. They would fill them so that they were heavy. And they would roll right to the center of the ship and keep it.
So let me
nice and
ask you
weighted.
something, and this will segue.
Mhm.
For paganism,
Mhm.
didn't they have potion bottles, or am I just going with the
Oh,
cartoons?
I mean, yeah.
Do you have any of those? Because that seems like something you'd be like
Well,
collecting, right?
bottles. I mean, they weren't like especially like looking.
Oh,
like
okay.
the-
Not like I'm thinking of
It was literally just
I
bottles.
just get
and
a
the
basket.
potions-
I put it in the basket. It's like
The
that's what I was thinking of.
potions are exactly what I said before, like medicines. You would use a specific amount, kind of herb, to create something. So if someone was having an ailment, you would use that, and it was magic, but it
Right.
was literally just natural medicines. That's all it is. Yeah.
Was there any point in history you think that like there was like magic potions? You know what I'm saying? Like they actually tried to practice that, where it's like they're creating magical potions as opposed to ailments.
Intention is everything. That's kind of one of the rules of any spiritual path that you're on. If you're pagan, Wiccan, whatever, your own thing, your own concoction.
Right.
Intention is everything. So if you have full intentions of something being a thing, it could certainly be it.
Right.
Perception is reality. So don't limit yourself into thinking things are impossible. Things are certainly possible. Everything's about perspective.
Mhm.
Most people can't see the full spectrum of color, right? Some people are limited. Some people can see all of it. It's insane.
Right.
It's great. It's kind of like a superpower. So same thing kind of happens
I don't know if that'd be a
in
superpower.
other
Where
areas.
it's like you have this color. It's like congratulations.
For
It's like-
people who cannot see.
Oh, for people that can't see, I thought you meant like
Those in
there's somebody that can see
existence,
color like
it
us,
is
and they have
like
this heightened
magic.
sense where like
Like if you want to cry, dude, watch those videos where colorblind person puts those glasses on that makes them see color.
I've seen those. Those
And
make
watch
me
the
cry.
reactions. Oh my god. So like yeah, it is like a superpower being able to see full
Yeah.
spectrum. Average people cannot see the full spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like in the middle.
But you're
I
saying
can
like
see full.
based
So
on
I
what,
see tones that no one knows exists.
what
it
you're
all
saying
blends.
is with the potion thing, where it's like there is such thing as magic, but it always ends up being some form of science.
Yes.
That's the idea. It's like magic is
Kind of,
science. Like there is.
But
I have-
magic, there's a lot of science in magic, but the other thing, other than just the numbers that you're seeing, is what you are putting out. That's that thing you cannot test, you cannot prove. It's just an energy source. You cannot see it. It just happens.
like an aura, chakra.
Right. Kind of, yeah. Like
That's interesting. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, couldn't science just say it's chemicals in the brain? You know, like it's just reactionary.
I mean, you could say a lot of things, but it doesn't make it
Because there's
so.
things I believe where I'm like, I that happened to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't feel it could be explained. Maybe it could, maybe it couldn't. But you're saying that's me.
Well, even in science, they've proven certain things, like other spectrums, being able to interrupt our reality, right?
Right.
Like, sometimes there's a weird shift, and it distorts how we see, what we smell. Like, our brain has a strange reaction. So,
Right.
like, it's extremely possible. It could, but they don't I don't think they have the tools to prove that. Like, which is
Right.
why it all falls into scientific theory. So until we have a way to prove shit,
Well,
it's still
can
just
you think
theory.
of one thing in your mind that hasn't been already disclaimed by science?
Well, they're constantly finding new stuff.
Right,
Like,
but I'm
all the
saying
time.
like in terms of like people being like I don't know, fucking we have the ability to fly, and science is like, no, you don't. It's like science is
We don't.
always I know. Science is always proving
Well,
that other element wrong in terms of either magic or extrapolation, or like science has
I guess
always
it
done
depends
that.
on your definition of magic. If your definition of magic is like flying and stuff like that, like on witch brooms and shit, then
Well,
yeah,
let's
no, it's
let's
gonna be
segue to
ridiculous.
urban because we
But
wanted to talk about this last week. Urban legends, like the Jersey
okay,
Devil.
okay,
Science
that's
could prove
not.
it wrong.
No, they couldn't because there's nothing to test.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's either
It's a
real or
legend
not real.
far beyond like
Yeah,
our
no, that's good. That's
stuff.
good. That's a practical thing.
Yeah, like it was like it's probably all bullshit. Like most urban
If you
legends
see,
are,
the
just to
thing is,
scare
it'd
you.
be really cool.
Because like the
but
Jersey Devil story is awful.
it is like the woman that had like, what is it, 8 something, and maybe this next one be a devil, flies out. It's
No,
like
she had 13 children, and because 13 is an
they,
unlucky number, and she was poor,
yeah.
it was the devil. So it was Satan's spawn because it was a 13th child. So like, really, it's a fucked up story.
It's cool, but it doesn't. It's just too
Think about it.
perfect
Most
of a
urban legends.
story to line up. If she had maybe 7 children and not the like the
He was the
demonic
13th
number
son.
of
Yeah.
it's too laid out where it's like this is, and he
Mhm.
had wings like the spot. I'm like, well, couldn't
Right.
you like draw it back?
It was like a chicken head.
How do you
on a
feel
horse
about
with wings.
the Bigfoot?
I think if any of them are possible, it's fucking Bigfoot, dude.
That's what I was
Because
thinking too.
we have so much forest that if you wanted to stay the fuck away and not really be like found, you could do
Right.
it. Like,
Right.
and if you're a primal creature, well, that's your thing. It's gonna be natural to you. So
Yeah.
good luck. That's why there's probably only
That's what I
like,
thought.
yo, I think I saw something because there's no like. I haven't seen any footage that is like, oh my god, that's a Bigfoot. You know, like
Yeah.
everything can look a certain way from a distance.
Every footage I've seen, it's like it's just weird. The reason why with urban legends I have a very hard time believing from the 70s to now. And now it shouldn't exist, but every image is so blurry. It's like there's not one 4K image, and everybody's walking around with an iPhone these days, but yet they're like, what's that? It's like, why are you shaking
yeah,
it?
dude.
It's
Oh my
like,
God.
give me that image.
Like Loch Ness broke my heart, dude. I wanted to believe
I wanted
so
to too,
bad,
but then when you realize
but
it's a Loch Ness
definitely a piece
lake,
of fucking log sticking.
100%. But plus, a
damn
monster
it.
like that in a lake, which is
I know.
enclosed, it's like
So like there would have to be like a hole or something
Right.
next to a larger ocean, like, and that would make it interesting, right? Like
that would have been
ooh, like a
amazing.
movie.
Because I promise you, I still 100% believe in megalodons and like
Oh,
sea
absolutely,
creatures
I
and
agree with
some
you.
form of a
Mhm.
kraken. Because the sea is so massive, like people can't even put in
Yes.
perspective how massive the ocean is. It is a beast, and the fact that we don't go that deep. People are like,
No,
oh
we
well, we
can't.
went deep a couple times. It's like you went
No.
deep a couple
We
times
didn't
in
even scratch
specific
the surface.
areas. Right. Right. So if you
We can't. We don't
go-
have the technology to withstand that pressure. Like
Right.
when you go down, dude, it's like
So we're
because we know more about our fucking like outer space
right.
than we do our own ocean. That's how hard it is to like discover.
It's scary,
anything.
but it's cool. Because
It's
I'm thinking,
so
my
cool.
opinion is, it's like when the meteor hit and it knocked out the dinosaurs. I promise you, there's still prehistoric ocean sea beasts
or
underneath.
or
Okay, hit me with it.
aliens.
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
Do you believe in aliens?
Look at the octopus, man.
You gotta feed me something here, Mom. I have no idea.
The most advanced creature on the planet is nothing like anything else on the planet. It is alien. And that's just a small part of the ocean we can get our hands on. Imagine when you go deeper.
What does that have to do with an alien?
Aliens.
I love how you sit back as
In
if you
center
owned me in
Earth.
some way. You're like, and that's it.
Well, like, think about it.
Continue.
We cannot fucking it's like having a great like a black zone over internet stuff, right? Like if you go in an area, you have no connection to the outside world. You cannot like look, you can't hack, you can't do anything, right?
Right.
Big dome of nope. That's pretty much our fucking ocean. We cannot figure out anything about it. It's one big giant mystery zone.
Okay.
Totally aliens could be there.
Wait, you're saying in the ocean?
Yes. Like they are oceanic creatures.
From other galaxies?
I don't know. They're alien. I don't know.
I don't get it.
We could just be like, okay, so
I
like...
thought we were shifting to aliens in general in space, but you're saying aliens travel from space
well,
to go underneath the ocean?
we're part of space, silly goose. But
Anything
what if we're just like
foreign
another
to Earth
organism?
is alien.
We're just another organism on the planet, right? So what if there's fucking like aliens in the center that are actually running shit, and we're just like mold?
They wouldn't be aliens though.
On the outer crusher.
Aliens are
alien
foreign to the planet Earth.
Unknown creatures.
Unknown creatures. Oh, you're talking about like underneath. Okay, what you're thinking of like the Center of the Earth movie that the
pretty
like
much kind of, but in water. Yeah.
I could
like
see
the
that.
Water's like right above it.
I could see that. That's scary. I don't like that.
Right?
Like
Aliens
an Earth
are
within
fucking
an
scary.
Earth.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Ironically, I'm okay with a Kraken existing, but like having like people underneath me doing exactly the same thing.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Why would just like aliens scare you, but something that is indefinitely pretty much pure evil doesn't bother you?
Well, a Kraken's.
Well, I guess
I
he's
like
not evil,
things
is he?
that
He's just,
are.
like,
It's
"Get out
not
of my
evil,
swamp."
but I like things that are definitive. Like I know a Kraken means destruction. I know this means death. I know this means this. When it comes to like a completely different set of either human beings or aliens or subcategory creatures that I have no idea what their intent are, I don't like question marks. That's the definitive zone of anxiety. It's like if you don't know what something's going to do to you, it's terrifying. But if you know, it becomes a bit more acceptable. Like Final Destination. It's like when they learn what death is doing, they're less afraid and they start to try to figure it out.
That's because they're dumb enough to think they could beat it.
Yeah, it's true.
They're dumb enough to think they can control the outcome.
Yeah. Never
when in
works
reality,
in their favor.
you have no control over anything except what you say. That's it. Other than that, everything is out of your hands. But the Kraken is actually called the Kraken because legend says when it would come up from the ships and wrap its tentacles around it and start crushing
cool.
all you heard was cracking.
Ah, that's cool.
He's called the Kraken.
I like that.
Yeah.
Chase is gonna like that fact. I'm gonna tell him that. He'll be like, "What?"
I have ancestors that were pirates, so like we've had a few pretty cool stories throughout the years. So and mermaids. They talked a little bit about mermaids. That was always neat.
Mermaids?
And
No.
sea devils. I don't know what's up with that. I'm not sure what I think the sea devil was supposed to be the mermaid. Is what I gathered from it.
I thought the sea devil was considered whoever was leading the like. He was like king of the ocean at the time in terms of like head pirates. Like the sea devil is coming. Like Blackbeard.
Is that it? I don't know. It was
wrong.
just on like writing, and I didn't know what it meant.
Thought that meant like top dog of the ocean. That's been my dream. So
Huh.
I've had like so I have like I think I can make it. It sounds stupid because it sucks because like I'm not getting any younger, but I'm still trying to like progress my career so I can get to the point where I want. But I want to make a movie, become a director, finance my film, sell them, whatever. And then my last dream, like the dream of dreams, like beyond my dream, that I'm like, it's possible, but it's slim. Whatever money I get, I want to get a pirate ship and just sail and hire a bunch of people that will be my crew, and we can learn shanties, and my cabin can be decked out, and I can wear an outfit. We can all wear outfits, and we can just sail and eat food. And like, sure, we're going to be like breaking that fourth wall in terms of every time we hit port, we'll see modern technology, but it's like to just be on the ocean because it's so vast, you could get caught up into it and just forget about the world. Like the sea would be your ocean.
Yeah, except for when the world comes and knocking out in the ocean. We got other people you got to worry about.
Listen. I know going into like Russian territory and like this, it's going to be problematic. But I think
pirates are problematic. They still exist.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I want. I know they're going to be modern with guns, but
Manta is going to disappear in the middle of the ocean. It's going to be devastating.
If that's how I go out,
he
I'm
thinks life is a
fine with
movie.
it. I'm fine with that. If like the last thing you
Oh
see is like
my
this
God.
bullet-ridden like monster in the ocean, and in complete pirate gear. Like, that's
No,
fantastic.
they would just chuck your ass out in the ocean. They wouldn't even give a fuck
Why
about
are you
actually killing you.
disrespecting my corpse after I'm dead? Why can't you just let me have this?
I'm not. The pirates are because
You're
not
making
thinking
this up in your
realistically.
head. You're like, they hate you, and I'm like, you're making them hate me. Make them love me.
That's what pirates do.
I don't know. I think if anyone saw
They're
like,
not Jack fucking Sparrow, bud. They want shit, and if you don't have anything to offer, well, fuck off.
okay, say there's a Chinese like ship going by, and they have like guns and everything, and then they see this pirate ship going by. At first off, they know what a pirate ship is because they've seen the cinema, obviously, regardless if it's American or not. And then they just see all of us singing, "There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was a Billy O.T." And then we just go by. There's no way they shoot at us. There's no way that we like to. They'll be
It
like,
would
"Hey,
like to believe
ho."
you. I think that would be great if it worked out that way, but I don't know, man.
Okay, yeah. There's laws in effect that makes them have to shoot us, yes. But I don't know. I don't know. That's my dream. I'd love to be like just a pirate and just have like the ability, like, okay. I'd want my pirate ship to be decked out, not huge, maybe like a size of not a scally, but a bit bigger. But I want a hole underneath with like a pod where I can see the ocean underneath and see like the fishes and everything. But I also want the ability to go deeper into the ocean and we can like investigate what's going on. And why you got to do that? I'm looking at your face and you were so unenthused. I hate that the whole time you're like, he's an idiot.
Because I know things.
Whatever.
Like you couldn't go like into rough seas with that kind of bottom on your ship.
Yes, you could.
Unless you create some kind of fucking like crazy ass sub.
I just
Then
made
it
an
could go
award-winning
down low.
movie. I'm pretty sure I
But
could put
oh,
money
you're talking
into
about
this.
the movie?
No,
Like
no,
an
no, no,
idea
no.
for a
I'm saying
movie?
the money I get from the movie I make, it's going to be the
Mhm.
size of at least like maybe not Avatar, but definitely Pirates of the Caribbean level, and everybody's going to love it. And there's going to be like all this stuff, and I'm going to get multi-million dollars, and it's going to go just towards this pirate ship, not to the mansion,
Okay.
not towards my home. Pirate ship, and pirate ship is just wood. So all that other fancy stuff that I want, I can cover that. I'll have enough to spare.
Oh yeah,
And I know me hiring
it'll be fine.
a crew is technically hiring slaves since I'm paying them to do this.
No, how do you think they get yachts and shit to work? If your boat is bigger than like 25 feet, it is required to have a crew. You need a crew to make the vessel
That's
function.
true.
It
But
is not
the
slaves.
reason why I think I'm going to have to hire them is I'm going to force them to wear pirate stuff and force them to sing shanties. And they're going to have to react a certain way when I wake up and I go on deck. They'll be like, "Here he comes, the most fearsome." Like they're putting on a show for at least 20 years or until I die.
I feel like you might be a little delusional, buddy. I,
So, I love it.
I'll visit you in a loony bin,
Don't
man.
you
It's
have
cool.
a dream that's like extraordinary like that, where it's like you have a dream, but then you have a dream on top of a dream where you're like, that would be awesome. Like if I could do that.
As you can
Love it.
tell, I am plagued with physics and facts and stuff and knowing what would work and what wouldn't work. So my
Everybody has
dreams
a
aren't
dream.
as
Everybody has a dream, no
creative
matter how
as
practical. Give me one of your non-creative dreams.
I just want a cafe, man. That's my
See,
dream.
that's a good one. Mama's Cafe.
Yeah,
Cafe
literally
Mama?
where I like do this, I stream and paint and and like own the shop where there's coffee and cakes and shit, and everybody could literally come hang out and vibe.
You know what you could do? You put your artwork on the wall and have it
Mhm.
set up almost like a diner, and then you'll
Yeah.
have like a Java station, and then in the back, through like a two-way, not mirror, but they can actually see you like a window, you can do your podcasting. And then for if they want to come on the show, they can sign up and pay a certain amount. And then you let them in out back, and like you can rotate as they drink. So it's like morning coffee with Mama or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay, let's move
that's
on.
pretty much it for me. But like
It
again,
just-
it's nothing like, you know, like 'cause,
Right, but it's something that excites you if it happened to blow your mind, right? If out of the blue, like you woke up with that serotonin boost where you're like, you know what?
well,
let's
it's
do
pretty
it.
much the goal. It is
Right.
the goal. Like I'm on the path for it.
What are you
like,
gonna call it?
mm-mm. It's
That's a
not.
terrible name for.
It's not copyrighted, so I'm not gonna use it.
Oh, clever. You're
Yeah.
not like me, where I'm like literally like when I was
Use
talking about my
yourself. Yeah,
I was
no.
talking about my script last week. I'm like, nobody's gonna hear this anyway, so it starts up here. That's cool.
Like my idea will absolutely probably be done before I get the chance to achieve it. But
do you know what's gonna be, boss? Though, in 20 years, you're cleaning up shop, right? You're cleaning up shop, wiping down the tables. Everyone's gone. You're like, another successful day at Mama's Java or whatever. And then you hear the bell, the ding, and then I walk into my pirate gear. And I'm like, guess who made port, motherfucker? Get me another one.
Oh my god.
And you'll be like,
I would
no
fucking die.
fucking way.
That'd be so awesome.
That'd be awesome, right? And my crew's like
and
pumping
it's funny
smoke behind me,
because
so there's an aura.
I live on the ocean. Like, that literally could happen.
Right? That would be phenomenal.
Oh my god.
That'd be awesome. Just smoke
Oh my
around me.
God.
I'm like, what's been done with my coffee, mama? You're like, no fucking way. And I'm like, yeah, right? And she's like, do you do that accent all the time? I'm like, yep.
I have no choice anymore. It's permanent.
What would you... Okay, so if you had to guesstimate, how much money would you need to open a Java shop? Because I know my ship, I did the math, I think it's going to be around 600 million.
God damn. Yeah, nothing like that. When I did the math, the hardest part is going to be the location. Biggest bill will be location, and
You don't want it to be in
upkeep.
where you are? Or do you want to make it
I
somewhere
wouldn't
else?
want it. See, I know the location's available right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want it anywhere where the open spots are. I have an eye on where I want it. It's still a gamble. I might run into the same issue that I had with my house, which it got flooded during a hurricane. So I don't want my business to go down and my fucking house. That wouldn't work. So I need to kind
Have you
of
ever
get
thought of
them
combining them? Like a lot of
separate.
people have like the shop under here and then you live up here.
That was the original plan, but I don't think I want my daughter that close to
Coffee.
that many strangers.
Gotcha.
Same problem I had with tattoo. That's why I'm not going back. I don't want to have so much interaction with so many kind of like people, you know. And then God
Yeah.
forbid one of them have a particular taste and bad shit and follow my ass home or something. Yeah, I don't want that. Deal with that. So
And they'd be following you upstairs, technically.
yeah, people complain a lot when they have comfort in hanging out and eyeballing your place, though.
Right.
I would need a lot of security
So how much are you thinking?
to start
Yeah.
comfortably. Like go big. It would take like 70.
That's reasonable.
It's
yeah.
not
Because
terrible.
you're bringing your art in for the walls, the tables and the
Mhm.
chairs. Are you
It's pretty
starting
much
from
the
scratch or are you buying out a
espresso.
previous?
Well, I would like to buy out one if that's possible, but that's not really because you gotta have an espresso machine. You have to have one that a maintenance person can work on because
Right.
they're kind of like people that espresso machine mechanics are really hard to come by, and you
Right.
have to wait for fucking ever for them to make it to you. So I need to figure out a proper one to go with there, and they
Mhm.
usually run for about 5 to 10 grand on average. And then you have to have all your product. I have to have a refrigerator that holds temp proper. I need a freezer for things that I, pack back up. But like, it's really just shit like that that ends up being the big bite is all the cafe equipment.
That's
And then got to go through your permits for everything. That costs a lot of money.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But that's like the third wheel, right? Like right now you're working towards something, then you're working towards something, and then there's that. Is that the idea?
Create the brand, then open storefront, pretty
Create
much.
Create the brand. So right
Yep.
now you're creating the brand through your stream, where it's the art aspect and the
Yep.
podcast.
Everything else was harvesting the skill and learning the business as far as dealing with people and customer service in an art form, which is really tricky. It's not quite
Yeah.
like anything else. So getting my hands-on learning with that is good. Now I can start setting up the proper business plan, get the loans, go about it. But really, it's waiting on a proper location.
Right.
Yeah, because wherever I end up, that's it. I don't want to do this. Oh,
Mhm.
well, eventually we'll upgrade and move the business. I hate that. I like it old school. If you're going to keep a mom and pop style business, keep it in their same location where people can
Right.
move away and come back 10 years later and be like, oh my God, you're still here. Like, that's what I want.
You're like, yep. Thanks for phrasing it that way.
Of course. I don't see it as a bad thing. Like,
No, me neither.
where I'm at, it's awesome because, you know,
Because I think once you reach
even the
that
restaurant
point,
I worked at, dude, like, there's people that I served like years ago that come back and visit every year.
Mhm.
And whenever like I'm out, they recognize it. They're like, "Oh my God, what's up? How are you? You're so awesome!" You know, like they remember me, and it's like really fun. So if I had an actual location, I could take all of those customers
right?
and make the profit instead of that asshole. You know, like because they came for the vibe, not the
Right.
fucking food. It was okay.
That's the ultimate. Jeez, that's the ultimate goal in life, anyways. It's like with my job right now, not necessarily like I'm moving in about 3 years down in New Jersey,
Oh shit, yeah.
and New Jersey, Hoboken, New Jersey, to avoid the taxing in New York, because there's not as much taxing over there. And the idea is I'm going to commute every day to there, and I can get a store transfer to the job I have now to there. And the idea is I want to set up a film studio. And where was I going with this? No, it was your thing where you said being in the same place for a long time you're okay with.
Yeah.
It's that level
Yeah.
of being content. Like the job I have now, I have no interest of changing it. Like I'm okay being there until I die. Like, and I'm
Hell yeah.
and I find ownership in that because it's like it's very invigorating knowing like you're just content with this one thing because it's so rare to find that in life where you're like
It
you're
is.
just
It's-
okay with
A
something.
lot of people are like, oh my gosh, they can't sit still because they're just so
Mhm.
unhappy with what they, and it sucks. I wish more people found that thing that it was just like that one fucking thing that's like, oh, cool.
Right.
This is this. I'm
The dream though, it's a lot like you where you're doing this like you're doing Twitch and you're doing the artwork to try to extrapolate to something bigger. It's the same thing I'm doing. It's like doing the game shows and interacting with people because where I live, it's very I'm not a colonial-esque guy. Like I'm not a farm guy. I'm very much I need noise. I need city life. I need to hear noise to go to sleep. Like I love chaos. I love the idea of like New York City in general where it's like
living above
hustle
a
and bustle.
business in the city.
Right. I hate waking up knowing that I live in a farm area. Not that anything wrong with it. It's just not me right now. That's where I
Man.
want to retire to. But in order to do
I
that,
actually would love where you're at. That sounds
Yeah.
more like what I'm looking for.
yeah, you wake
'Cause,
up,
like-
all you think of is that song, "Take Me Home, Country Road."
But
like,
it's not quiet here. Like, and I don't mean like people. I mean like wildlife. We've got it's like clockwork. You can hear all the birds start to chime in and stuff, and like they're literally at the windows. I can hear them in
Mhm.
trees and stuff. So it's definitely not quiet here.
Yeah.
Even at night, you hear weird ass animals.
I just like the idea of I know I'm in a place that's like surrounded by it's not necessarily I shouldn't say noise but like creativity where it's like I don't know just hearing a bus a car this or this is like everything's always active.
You should
it's
live
like-
on the beach.
My mind go that'd be a good idea. That'd be a good idea.
You have the waves at night, the wind, and you can hear it. So there's loud audio and all the
well,
creative
it's
people
not
in the
that
world.
noise in general. It's not that it's noise. It's like I like the idea of people working. If that makes sense. Like when I hear cars, I like the idea that things are happening. I don't like the sound of nature.
Production.
I don't, because nature to me is just like it's a noise I associate with either retiring or just like a vacation.
You're so disconnected.
I know. I want to be a pirate. I don't know what's wrong with me. But
But then live on the beach.
okay, I'll move to the beach. You got me. But where was I going? No,
And
the
Jersey has a shit ton of coast. You
the
know what
point
I
of
mean?
all
It's
this
right.
is
It's only a
based
little
on
ways
where-
from Hoboken.
based on where I live now, I'm not around creative people. Like they don't really have
Yeah.
the same views as me. Like they've already made the goal of like this is their contempt. You know what I'm saying? The people living here want to live here. They want to be here. So there's not that extra level of motivation. Through Twitch, it's cool because like with yourself and all the other streamers and this and that, it's like I'm surrounded by creative people. So it's like this is my noise and I love it.
Okay.
The problem is it's like when I take off this headset and go back to the real world, I'm forced to self-inspire, which is pretty much all you can do. I would just like this noise to be permanent around me.
Overstimulating.
Sound like Yoda over there. Yes, overstimulating you are. Fool you may be, pirate you are not.
No, I think you're seeking an experience, and I think you think, that's it, until you're in it, and then you're gonna have another, like, okay, I've experienced this, now I want this, like, yeah, it makes sense. You're
Every
evolving.
time I've traveled to a city, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I love...
Well, yeah, visiting is hella fun.
Right. I don't know.
But yeah, like, you gotta experience it.
But I gotta do this regardless to head forth in my career. Like, there's no film groups up here where I am. None. Zero. None.
Yeah.
The only way I can do it is New Jersey, because New York, I'm not paying for New York. No way.
Nope.
New Jersey, Hoboken, 100%, and based on the apartment that I priced out, which I'm not going to say because I don't want nobody getting that fucking apartment, you can see New York City, and it's perfect. If I could see New York City, and I technically have the comfort of nostalgia of where I am now, which is very, colonial-esque, where it's a bit more, farm-like, because New Jersey in in Hoboken kind of is. It's the marriage of the two, where it's like, that's where I can progress.
Yeah, that's a smart ease off.
Well, it looks like that's the end of our first season of Monster School. It's been a real blast. Even monsters have to sleep. Join us next time for something even more spooky, and I'll be seeing you in your dreams.